I was talking to a guy the other day and I had to make a video about it because it's not the first time that I've heard a story like this. But I was sitting right here in my office in my basement. I was I was chatting. I was chatting on LinkedIn and I was talking to a guy named Chris. We'll call him Chris. That's not his real name. But I was talking to a guy that we'll call Chris, and Chris starts pouring out his soul to me. And it turns out that Chris was worried about losing his house. Yes, he was worried about losing his. What was he definitely probably going to lose his house? I hope not. But the fact that he was worried about it at all is bad enough. And this was a successful guy. This was not a dumb guy. He was not a dummy. He was a $250,000 a year guy in his long corporate career, 4 kids, middle school, high school age. But he'd always had this dream of entrepreneurship. He wanted to be an owner, and he'd been corporate for so long. So he got sucked into the worst business model that now I've started to see everywhere online. And so I wanted to make this video as a warning, a gentle warning. I'm not going to name any names of people who shill this business model, but these stories like Chris's are going to become more and more common as time goes on. And there are more and more of you guys facing the nasty reality that Chris was facing. So consider this a cautionary tale. And I don't mean to dunk on Chris. That's not the point of this story. The story is the people who are taking advantage of guys like Chris, and I do want to dunk on them. That's what I'm dunking on. I'm not going to name names because I also don't like getting in arguments online because that's also silly. So here's the story. What happened to Chris? What did he get sucked into? Well, the short answer is Chris bought the dream. He bought the dream, but it had an expensive price tag. And what the dream he bought was that he was going to go and he bought a boring business. You might have seen this online. It's buy then build. They tell you, buy a Main Street business, be an operator. And this particular Main Street business that Chris bought was an HVAC company near his house. And these funnels online will tell you, go buy a boring business. But usually they're talking about service businesses like plumbing companies, dry cleaners, HVAC, that kind of stuff. You go buy one of these. All you got to do is buy it and boom, you got passive income, baby. You're on the gravy train. You can kick back, relax while your dry cleaner just prints cash. And yet here was Chris, not his real name. Here was Chris worried about losing his freaking house. So why? How did he get in this situation? Here's some high-level numbers. These are representative numbers, and this is roughly what he was telling me. But the HVAC company, say he's doing $1 million a year when he got it. So 50% margins, $500,000 to play with. That's what he thought he was going to have to play with every year. The net profit of his business, which sounds pretty good, right? But between what he owed after he bought it, he then owed his investors. He had debt service. Plus, he hired an operator to run the freaking thing, which actually is smarter than some people who try to run these things by themselves with no experience when they buy one of these boring business. But between that, the debt service, the investors, and the operator, he was shilling out about $31,000 every single month. $31,000 a month, which is whatever that is, $330,000 of the $500,000 that he thought he was going to have. That's poof out the window before he even gets to sniff it. And that doesn't include any of his other SG&A expenses that come along after he delivers the services. And what's worse is the business, when he got it, it didn't grow. They tell you when you buy these things, oh yeah, you're magic because you're a smart corporate guy. You're a smart corporate guy, so you sprinkle your magic SOPs on it. Yeah, your MBA, you rub your MBA on it. You go, you walk into the plumbing office and you slap your MBA on the wall, and that's going to magically grow the thing 20%. That's not what happens because you don't know how to run a plumbing business or an HVAC business. So his HVAC business didn't grow. It actually shrank a little bit. Plus, he had some major equipment purchases that he had to make just a few months into it. And all of a sudden, here he is. He can't cover his monthly payments. He can't cover that $31,000, which includes debt servicing, by the way. And that debt was secured with a personal loan with his house as collateral, which is why Chris was sitting on LinkedIn telling a stranger about how he was scared he was going to lose his house. And that is why I hate this so much. That's why I hate this business model so much. It is so freaking predatory. I didn't even talk about the fact that the gurus teaching this business model are going to charge you $11,000 a year just to plop you in a community where they have some video PDF courses telling you how to source deals. So there's another cash hit before you even go into this life-ruining debt so that you can go buy a dry cleaner. Total insanity. But I will say, I understand why this is popular. I understand where this comes from. I understand why people get sucked into this funnel. And first off, some people are going to say, well, well, dude, it's just a business model. And business models are only as good as the owners and the operators that run them. And to that, I'll say, yeah, it's definitely a business model. That's true. It's a true statement that buying a boring business and attempting to operate it at a greater profit than it was when you bought it is a business model. But lots of things are business models. I could go scoop up roadkill on the side of the road. I could go make a roadkill soup stand. I could do that. That's a business model. It doesn't mean it's a good idea. And there ain't no genius operator that's going to squeeze blood out of this stone. Look at that. You're going to buy roadkill soup? No. Although my roadkill soup idea would be less risky. There's certainly less risk on the table than going and buying an HVAC company, unless the roadkill has rabies or something. But the other reason it's popular, the reason, one of the reasons this thing is popular, I get, is because it strokes you guys' egos. It strokes guys' egos. It makes you feel sophisticated because now you get to say where you're sitting around and you're talking about EBITDA and you're talking about internal rate of return. It makes you feel like some kind of Warren Buffett genius when really what you're doing is you're getting fleeced by the course creators and the plumbers. The plumbers are winning big in these deals because they sell you their business, they make you pay too much, and then they go sit on the beach for 15 years. So I get it. It makes you feel, it makes guys feel sophisticated. It makes guys feel like they're owners and they're really in the game. They got skin in the game. But I understand wanting to have your ego stroked in that way. I do. That's normal. That's a normal. If you're a dude, you like that. And it can actually be healthy getting your ego stroked if you do it constructively. Just don't do it by buying some business that you have no idea how to run. Okay? That's my plea to you. So what's less risky? What's less risky than buying a plumbing company, buying an HVAC company? And again, I'm not making light of Chris's situation. I think he's going to be okay. It's I don't think he's like going to lose his house tomorrow. But it's a terrible feeling, I would imagine, that he feels right now, and probably tons of regret and anger. And there's just going to be more and more people feeling that way as more and more results like his start rolling in. So what should you do instead? What should Chris have done as a successful corporate guy who wanted to feel like a business owner? Well, here's what he should have done. He should have just done consulting. He should have just been a consultant. Very simple. And what do I mean when I say that? I mean, he should have done what he was already good at, which is not HVAC. It's whatever his corporate career was that he'd been doing for 20 years. He should have just done that for more people. That's all. And that's what B2B consulting is. This is one of the oldest, most validated business models in the entire world. It's so low risk, it's ridiculous. It's pure margin. And you already have the skills to do it. They're sitting there between your ears. You've been getting paid to do it for 20, whatever, how many years. So all you guys who are thinking about risking your house to feel like a big shot laundromat owner, do this first. Okay, here's what you do. You go to a business, you ask them about their problems, you offer to solve one of those problems for a fee as a consultant. That's it. That's the business model. You spend no money, you don't lose your house, and you can charge, if you're smart and if you're good and if you're valuable, you can charge 5-6 figures per engagement, which is about as much as Chris's monthly nut that he owed in debt payments to the bank. And so that's all. That's it. Rant over. I teach you how to do this model, B2B consulting, using the skills that you already have. I teach you how to do it for free in my community. The link is below. Yes, if you want me to literally help you do it and do most of the work for you, yes, I charge for that. Of course I do. Come on, be reasonable. But the model is really simple. It's all laid out for you for free in the community below. Don't buy a boring business. Don't buy a boring business. Just get paid for what you already do by more people than your employer. So if you like this video, go meet me in the community. It's right there. Just go down and click it. Click subscribe. Click like. Leave me a comment. Leave me a mad, angry comment. If you fail for this, I'll probably delete it. And make fun of my hair. I'll leave those up. You can do that. But thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.